safe to say that Ben Shapiro and the Daily Wire are in full-on panic mode ever since Candace Owens decided to go scorched earth, and her show isn't even back yet. These are all just things that she's tweeting out casually, and she's doing some speeches, getting asked questions about the situation, and she's made the choice that she's not holding anything back anymore. These people deserve to be exposed. The Daily Wire, Ben Shapiro, people who are paying other people to write smear articles and lying about people just because you don't like them, they deserve to be exposed for that. 100%. And we have this tweet here from Mario Nawfal, I believe is how you pronounce his last name. The Daily Wire fires employee for sending moral support to Candace Owens. Former Daily Wire employee Sawyer Brandt shared, "My work was pleasant and going fine until I stood up for the character of one of my friends and former superiors, Candace Owens. The Daily Wire did not appreciate this and terminated my employment. I was fired for sending Candace a personal email of moral support. I said nothing negative about the Daily Wire in my email to her. In my meeting with HR, they notified me that they could access my private email correspondence because although I sent the communication from my personal email address on my personal device, I accidentally left my personal email logged into one of their computers." Holy shit. This is like psycho girlfriend level of privacy violation, by the way. Like private email, private device, but because she accidentally left it logged in on one of their computers, they're allowed to just go through her email. That's just absolutely wild. "I am still confused as to why stating that I wasn't abused would be grounds for termination. Owens, previously fired from the Daily Wire allegedly for saying Christ is king, which the company deemed," that word that I don't want to say, but the defense that Ben Shapiro and the Daily Wire and Jeremy Boring use every single time they just don't agree with something. That word, that phrase there. "Despite a gag order, she addressed the issue in a live stream, revealing claims of mistreatment from a Daily Mail journalist. Daily Wire staffers disputed these claims and showed support for Candace Owens. Brandt was fired without warning for his support of Owens, prompting him to seek financial help through GoFundMe, later moved to Give Send Go. The GoFundMe was removed shortly after publication, but not before reaching its goal." And then here is the source, the Gateway Pundit. And you can see here's Candace Owens' live stream where she revealed that the Daily Mail was actually paid, probably, most likely. She can't say it for legal reasons, but I'm going to say it's obviously speculation from my part. I don't have any inside info, but it's pretty obvious it's Ben Shapiro and the Daily Wire. That's paying people like the Daily Mail to write these smear articles on her.
I've just never seen anything just more fictitious and made up, and someone that is going to publish something or thinks that they have a story here when everything that they have learned has been wrong. So I'm going to read you the email that I received from this Daily Mail reporter, because we were like, what is this about? Like, actually, could you possibly be writing about that hasn't already been written about me leaving the Daily Wire? Well, here's what they wrote. "I am currently writing a story focused on how Candace Owens came to leave."
If you enjoy content like this, then make sure you leave a like and subscribe to the channel. It really does help me out a ton. Let's get back to the video.
The Daily Wire. Oh, okay. I wonder what or who is behind the story. "Any response, either in an official statement or from sources close to Candace on the following information would be greatly appreciated. We have heard from multiple sources that Candace's dismissal from the Daily Wire was in large part, quote unquote, financial. That her show just wasn't making the company enough money to justify continuing her employment. It is also claimed that she, quote unquote, blamed producers for her show's failures and that she refused to work with certain advertisers. We have also heard that senior management felt they had a moral obligation to terminate Candace's employment due to what has been..."
Which, by the way, let's just give them the benefit of the doubt. We all know it's not true. Let's say that it was true that Candace Owens' show got terminated. She got fired from the Daily Wire because her show just wasn't bringing in enough money. Let's say that that was true. Why would you fire her now when her influence is larger than it's ever been before? And let's even give them the benefit of the doubt. I haven't looked at the numbers. Let's even say that the numbers on her content wasn't as high as they were before. Wasn't making enough money. Like the actual views on her YouTube content just wasn't up there anymore. Well, if you don't know the business model, the funnel that the Daily Wire runs, they don't really make a lot of money, if any at all. They're probably actually in the red on the content that they create. They actually run ads to a lot of their videos and stuff like that because their main moneymaker is the website, the memberships to the website, selling ads on their website and stuff like that. So even if Candace Owens' numbers were down on her YouTube channel and maybe losing the Daily Wire money, which we all know is not true, but even if it was, her influence is so large now because of what she did and the line of questioning she went down and everything like that. that I'm sure she's driving way more, or was driving way more traffic to the Daily Wire website than she was previously. So if we all know it's not true, once again, if the Daily Wire and Ben Shapiro did make the call to fire Candace Owens because her show was not performing financially, why would it be right now? Because their whole funnel is sending people to the website. It's not even getting views on YouTube anyway. It doesn't make them any money. They run ads on YouTube. So they're probably in the red, you know? And honestly, the peak of Candace Owens' influence, you fire her because her show's not making enough money. Like, obviously that's a lie. And that's coming from Ben Shapiro and the Daily Wire, most likely. We don't know that for a fact, but from my speculation, context clues, it seems very obvious that it's Ben Shapiro and the Daily Wire that's spreading these lies.
Been described as her increased anti-Semitism and her conspiracy theories. Others have said that Candace was mean to and mistreated the junior staff members at the Daily Wire, including, ready guys, makeup artists and interns. One source described a scene in which Candace allegedly threw a canned drink at someone. Okay. This is sending me. I'm now throwing canned drinks at employees, mean to junior employees, yelling at the makeup artists. Separately, what would Candace say to claims that she has been homophobic and anti-Semitic, particularly on her social media, and that she has peddled conspiracy theories? So here is what is clearly happening. The attacks on me over me not backing down on being a Christian are failing. So now we're just moving to full-on character mischaracterizations. I have worked in politics for now 8 years. If you think that if there is a single person that wishes to come forward and to say that I mistreated them, I welcome you to do it. I am the exact opposite human being. This is the most absurd thing that I've ever read in my entire life. The idea that I threw a canned drink at someone and it was fine and it just flew, like that employee didn't have a lawsuit that they could have like.
Yeah, that would probably be a huge story at the time. But what she's saying here relates back to the other piece of evidence that we have right here, which is the actual email, I believe, between Sawyer, who was fired from the Daily Wire by Ben Shapiro on the Daily Wire because of his support of Candace Owens and I guess wanting to work with her again. Here's the actual email, I believe. So we have this being sent to Candace Owens. Hello, Candace. Hope you're doing well. I have been keeping you and your family in my prayers. I miss working for you, engaging in insightful and fun conversations while also sharing laughs. Over the last 2 months, I've been doing a lot of reflecting and praying, and when I watched your Instagram live last night, I took it as a confirmation to reach out, and I was absolutely devastated when I received word of it. Having spent the majority of my time at the Daily Wire working with you on your show, I immediately knew the claims that were brought against you and the justification for firing you were untrue. I believe that these wild accusations are ill-founded and evil. So this is the email that Sawyer sent to Candace Owens. Obviously, you know, he was probably, after Candace Owens got fired from the Daily Wire, he was probably thinking, man, I should reach out to Candace and try to work with her again. It was a lot more fun when she was around, things like that. So he decided to go ahead and reach out, and the Daily Wire didn't like that, probably for multiple reasons, because, you know, you have a current employee who's trying to leave and go work for a former employee who just was fired. And then also you're showing support for Candace Owens that it's going to be used publicly, probably to combat the smear article that's coming against Candace Owens, paid for, by the way, by this guy's employer. So it is, you know, I think that it's very, very weird that they went into his personal email to find out that this was him that sent it. But also, it's understandable if you look at it from the Daily Wire's perspective to fire him. I know people don't want to hear that. You just want to hear, you know, oh, Daily Wire bad all the time. But if, you know, let's just say if it's not even a media company, just a random example. Like if you found out, if you're a boss and you found out that one of your current employees is sending emails and texting and trying to go work for someone else who you just fired, obviously, like, I don't know if you'd fire them, but you definitely like talk to them about it. But the Daily Wire and Ben Shapiro are just kind of like a bunch of children. So first thing they do, temper tantrum, you're out of here, you're fired. So hopefully this guy goes and gets a job at Candace Owens' new show. Anyway, let me know in the comments what you're thinking about what Candace Owens had to say. This whole person getting fired from the Daily Wire for supporting Candace Owens and not saying anything bad about the Daily Wire or Ben Shapiro or anyone involved. Just saying I support Candace Owens and it would be cool to work for you again in the future. Let me know in the comments what you're thinking about this whole Candace Owens versus Daily Wire situation.